Hi, I'm Deanna, and today we'll be talking about Job 9. So normally I ask you guys to give a recap, but today we're going to do some fill in the blanks to see what we remember. All right. So everyone can just shout out. We could do this together as an exercise. Job's character is what and what?
Blameless
And righteous.
and righteous.
Yes, blameless and righteous. And Job has a very big family. So how many sons does he have?
And
Nine?
He has 10 children, but how many sons does he have?
Isn't it 5 and 5?
7 and 3. 7 sons, 3 daughters. God gave permission to do what?
Satan, there you go. There's Satan.
To take away.
To take away, to strike everything, but told him not to lay a blank on him.
And hand.
We'll take it. It was finger, but we'll take hand. Job was a dedicated follower of God and responded in humility, praise, and continued dedication to the Lord. And God allowed Satan control of Job's body with the caveat that he could not what him?
Kill him.
Kill him.
Kill him, yes, kill him. Satan inflicted Job with
Boils.
And rash. Disease.
yeah, we'll take it's painful sores from head to toe I had, but all of those fit within that context. And Job's wife wanted him to do what?
Curse. Curse. Curse.
Curse. Awesome. You guys are clearly learning and paying attention to all of these lessons. Job and his friends sobbed for how many days?
3.
7 days?
7
Seven
days.
days.
7.
Yeah. Wow.
Job is in pain and anguish, and he wishes he were not what?
Alive.
Alive.
Born.
Born. Yes, born. Job questions God about his conditions, however, never takes his own life or blanks God.
Rebukes. Rebuke.
Believes.
Or
Or
bless them.
curses.
Curse God.
Disrespects, but it's similar in nature to curse. Job's friend Eliphaz talks to him, and Eliphaz infers that Job has what to deserve?
Sing.
Sinned, yes. He encourages Job to
Repent.
repent and that God will what to him?
Yeah, forgiving.
Or
Yes.
restore.
Restore, yes. Job speaks, reclaiming his innocence and telling his friends how hurtful it is that they are not being sweet to him during a time of pain, and then asks his friends to look him in the
Eyes.
face. But yes, I mean, his eyes are on his face, so we'll go with it. All right, Job's days were ending without what? 4-letter word.
Love. Pain.
Pain.
Hope.
Both.
He was talking about how his days were ending all without hope in the last chapters. Job wants God to tell him what he has done or what he has sinned against him for. And Bildad wants Job to do what?
Ask forgiveness.
Confess.
Confess his sin.
He wants him to seek whom?
God.
God.
Seek God. Yes, seek God and then plead with him. And Bildad suggests Job should go back and ask advice from who?
From the elders.
His friends.
Yeah, from the elders of former generations. And then Bildad ends out with saying God will not reject the
Just.
the blameless, essentially.
Right.
Awesome. I'm so glad that we were able to do that very quickly and everyone was super participatory. So let's go into this, although I think I just showed the answer. So who was speaking in chapter 9? That should be an easy one. Yes.
Job.
Yes, Job. All right. And so Bildad's talking about, or he's re-referencing what Bildad said, and he says he agrees on a particular topic that Bildad was talking about. Go ahead, Teal Ralph.
Righteous men should not content with the Lord.
Okay, I have that he does agree that God rewards the righteous and corrects the sinners, is what I was looking for, but my wording was a little tricky on that. So, and then what is Job indeed saying about his own sin?
That he have no sin against God. However, with his mouth, he will not open up his mouth because he will not be found.
Wait, hold that one, because that's a different question.
That's all. That's the last thing in the chapter.
Go ahead, John.
That like he can't contend with God about it, like he can't speak with God about he's referencing like how someone would go to court in front of a judge.
Yeah.
It's like humans, we can't do that with God because he's just too perfect. It's at a different understanding.
Yes, he definitely does talk about that in the chapter. What I was looking for here is that he's saying all humans sin, but if he's not righteous before God, then like who else could be, right? Because like him and Noah are at different levels in the Bible. So if they're considering that he's sinned against him, then like who else is righteous from this perspective? And what do you believe is the meaning of the verse that he's talking about where he says, and this is what I think Tio Eddie was just trying to get to a second ago, even if I were innocent, my mouth would condemn me. If I were blameless, it would pronounce me guilty. What's he kind of referring to there, or trying to say that if he talks against God, which is what you guys were just talking about, how would that make him show up? Go ahead, Brandon.
It's a lose-lose situation that no matter if he questions it, then it's like, oh, you think God was wrong? And then if he I don't know, I guess it's like, yeah, he just failed. There's no good winning. There's no winning in this situation.
Yeah, there's no winning thing, and it could come off from like that he's being prideful and arrogant, and that would cause him to be sinful in nature, which is what he's trying to go against.
Yeah.
And then how is Job talking about God in this chapter when he's referring to him? And you're kind of talking about it, Jonathan, when you were talking about the fact that it's hard to go up against him because he's so powerful and so forth. Go ahead, Tio Ralph.
Yeah, because he's summarizing that a righteous person like Noah, for example, right, would not contend with the Lord because Lord has so many questions that we don't have answer to it. That it's impossible for us to answer all the questions that he's gonna throw at us. Even though
Yes.
yeah.
And he talks about, what are some of the items that he talks about that God does to show that he's so powerful in this chapter?
Say that again, Diana.
What are some of the things that Job mentions to show how powerful and amazing God is in this chapter? Go ahead, Titi. I think that's you. I only see a watch, but.
Shake the earth, it can move the mountain,
Yeah.
put the stars in the sky.
Yes, exactly. He's referencing his greatness. He talks about the stars of the constellations and about all of the miracles that he has completed. And even with that, there's like a part after that section which talks about how Job is still feeling about his life. What are some words that you would use to describe how Job's feeling?
Sorrow, pain.
Yes.
Defeated. I think defeated.
Defeated, helpless. Yeah.
Exactly. Helpless, dreadful, that he's suffering or in pain. And what does Job ask for in the very end? He says if he had this, then it would be different. Go ahead, Titi.
An advocate.
Yes, a mediator, an advocate, someone to help bridge the gap between himself and God, because God's just so great and magnificent.
Amen, yeah.
So my takeaways for this chapter is that even though we might be wonderful, and to everyone they might be referring to as someone righteous, we're still all sinners by nature, no matter how well we're doing, right? And we need to be mindful of how we respond in different situations, because it could still come across as prideful or arrogant. Any questions?
I have a question, Diana. I mean,
Yes.
when I was reading the summary about this chapter, the Job talk about righteousness, right? And they conclude that he mentioned only two people. They mentioned Noah was a righteous man, and Job was a righteous person. So I would like if you or the minister ask why they name specifically Noah. Yeah,
I'll give my response, and then obviously the preacher can give his own response. But when everyone else went against what God was saying, and everyone thought that Noah was crazy and insane when God was telling him to prepare this gigantic ark, he still chose to do that, right? He still chose to follow God and take his entire family with him. And so that's why I would consider that they refer to Noah as a righteous person. But if the preacher would like to add, please feel free.
No, that's totally correct. Remember they used to accuse him of being crazy
okay.
because he was building in dryness. He was building an ark to go with.
Effectively a desert,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the power of faith right there.
Mhm.
That's why that's called account, not only with not only to him, Abraham, Enoch is a righteous man,
Yeah.
that live a righteous life, you know.
And then Job is righteous because even when his wife said, you know, you gotta curse your God and die.
Exactly.
He stayed faithful, you know.
Everything was taken away from him, his children, his stocks, everything, and he's still there
he was
saying God is great and amazing.
I have a
Faithful to the
question for the minister.
Yeah,
Right.
Minister, after Hope passed all his Christ, he had more children again. So was it with the same wife?
The Bible don't specify, so we have to believe yes, it's the same wife.
Right.
By a miracle of God.
Okay.
But remember also that during those times, your servant is your possession. So
Right.
whenever she gives a child, it's yours. It's not
Exactly,
theirs.
exactly.
Because they belong to you. So that could have been another situation. Well, he did have many children
Okay, after.
afterward, yes. And his
Okay.
riches was restored and everything.
Mm.
All right, Diana, are you finished?